Hello everyone, Julian Lee here from Road to 3. Welcome to Filthy Closes. This is a training on sales closing, and the reason sales closing is so important, even if you're not in actual direct selling, is because it will tell you about the prospects that are interested in your business. So because dealing with sales closing is dealing with objections and what the objections are that the prospect has. So when you learn how to do sales closing, you understand your prospects, so you are able to create really good landing pages and sales copy because you understand the objections that people have and that you need to overcome and deal with on your sales page. And watching people close gives me a rush. To this very day, I feel the tingles and excitement as I watch somebody do it. It's almost as if I'm doing the deal myself. And in business, it's the ultimate prize where you finally get to take some money home after all. But it is so much more than that. It's an expression of skill that has been studied and learned. And for me, it's like watching a figure skater at the Olympics. It's a thing of beauty born out of months or years of toil and practice and hard work. And when it's good, sales closing is great. And when it's bad, it's still pretty good, as long as it ends in a deal, of course. And closing is not just for salespeople. As I said, anybody in any business need to learn how to close a sale. If you are in business and you know nothing about sales closing, then you really know nothing about your customers. Because in any functioning business, at any time, there is a pipeline of prospective customers, and these people have seen your offer and have a level of interest. We're not sure what that level is. It could be no interest, it could be some interest, it could be very interested. And most of the people will not take charge and actually make an order without being prompted. Some will, but many will not. And the rest will make a decision after being closed by a representative or a salesperson or by the sales copy. And this is very interesting. Why do they wait to be sold or closed? And there are two reasons. One is that they cool down and forget. So they might have been somebody who was going to buy at the moment they were talking to the salesperson, but they just cool down once they go and do something else and they forget about it. The second reason is that they have an objection that has not yet been dealt with. They have an issue, a problem, an anxiety that if you could just deal with it, they would go ahead and make the purchase. And that's where the sales person can come in, close them on that objection. So when you have a process for closing sales, you convert people from category 1 before they lose interest, and you convert prospects from category 2 by dealing with the prospects directly and dealing with their objections. So here is why the skill of closing is important for any business, not just direct selling companies. It forces you to know every possible objection that prospects could have in respect to your offer. So when it comes to writing sales copy for ads or creating sales pages, you know what the objections are preemptively. You can therefore include them in your sales copy at certain points to reduce prospect anxiety when the prospect reaches your call to action. So closing sales is about dealing with objections, and objections are signposts to the sale. And if you know all of the objections, you really know your customers and what they want. Objections, signpost to the sale. I want to make it clear that there are two types of objections and we must treat them differently. Number one is, I want to buy, but. Number two is, I just want attention. I just want to talk to you. So the first type of objection is genuine, and this typically means the prospect is interested in buying, but they are worried about something. The most important thing is to get the prospect to open up and tell us. We really need to find a way that will encourage the customer to express what they are worried about. We need to coax and pry this information out. Some people will have a wall up, but for the most part, some skilled questioning will cause the prospect to spill the beans. And once we know which particular objection we have to handle, you can almost write the deal on the whiteboard as a done deal. But it's not always possible to extract the objection from the prospect. It Take online marketing, for example. When I write a landing page, I prepare by brainstorming all the possible most common objections. Then I resolve the objection throughout the sales copy. The most important thing is that we learn and understand the closing process, even if we never actually talk directly to prospects. It helps us produce better and more persuasive sales copy. In the next section, we will discuss some different ways to confirm the objection and then how to deal with it, close it, and move on. So confirm the objection. You need to know where you stand with objections. What exactly is the objection that the prospect has? Is it a real objection, or is the prospect trying to hide the real objection? Or is the customer just enjoying the chat with the rep without ever intending to buy? Sometimes sales reps get themselves in a muddle by believing the customer on face value. If a customer says, "I cannot afford to buy," that might be true, but it also could be untrue. Maybe they mean, "I'm ready to buy if you reduce the price." So it is important that we hit the prospect with some questions so we can ascertain what the real objection is if there is one. In the offline world, this is done through questions. In online marketing, we guess the most common objections and deal with them several times throughout the sales page. So in person, we need to crack open the prospect. Why are they stalling? Are they shopping my price to other suppliers? Is the price out of budget? Does their partner disagree with their selection? Are they not actually the decision maker for purchases? Do they have an arrangement with a supplier to match any written quotes? Are they confused about one of the product features? Is the product going to require a lot of retraining at their company? Do they feel your offer lacks value? And there are many reasons for these types of stalling objections, and it's too difficult to guess. So the way to solve this puzzle is by asking some soft questions. You just want to let them open up. You need to know what the real and deciding objection is. Some of these questions are assumptive, which can be very effective. If you get the assumption right, the prospect will open up like a can of tuna. If you get it wrong, the prospect will say, "It's not that, it's this." So when I say assumptive question, you might say something like, "I feel like you're a little bothered by the price. Is that what is holding you back?" Or you might say, "I feel like you were really hoping to have this feature. Is that correct?" So, and if you get it wrong, the prospect will say, "No, it's not that, it's this." And they tell you, and you've got the objection. Then you know what you need to deal with. So here are some questions that will open up the prospect. I'm going to go through, 15 questions, and then from there we're going to look at objections. So these are going to help you identify what the objections are, these questions, and then we will deal with the objections in the next section. I can feel that something is not sitting right with you. Can you tell me what it is? Is there something more to the story that I should know? What specifically is it that you need to think about? Is it the features? Paint a picture for me. I can see you thinking about something. Okay, let's do a progress check. Where are you at with this? Are you shopping around for alternatives? What is the one biggest reason that it's causing you hesitation? I hear that you need to think about it. Which thing is it that you need to think about most? I get the sense that this is the most important sticking point. Can you tell me why? Who will this decision impact most at your business? If you went ahead with the purchase and it was not what you imagined, how will that impact you? If you make the purchase and it ends up working out great, how will that impact you? Interesting. What gave you that impression? Who do you have to confer with about this decision? And what is your opinion about that? Can you elaborate on that, please? What is the opinion of the management team on this? If you decide to follow through, do you have the funds organised? Do you agree with their opinion? What is your take on this issue? And how much say do you have when it comes to decisions? When you say, "I feel like there is something you are not telling me," what could it be? There is something you are not telling me? How does this align with your objectives at the moment? This is the vibe I'm getting. Am I close? Do you mean not if, but when you buy it? If you get the go ahead to purchase, what month would you like to get all this finalized? I don't understand. Can you spell it out for me? How urgent is the decision deadline for this? From everything you've seen, do you feel that this is a smart and good use of your money? What do I have to do to earn your business today? What do you need me to do for you to make a decision now? Okay, let's be frank and honest. What is holding you back here? What is stopping you from pulling the trigger on this deal? Is there anything that I can do today to get you over the line? What is it going to take for us to get this done together? Is there something I need to know? There are so many ways that you can get the prospect to open up. Find some that work for you and suit your personality and style. Practice them, and you very quickly will find that you can start slotting them in comfortably in the right context. And it really helps you determine who are the hottest leads, who are nearly there, and who has no intention of doing business. But you find out what those objections are. And that's what that is all about. And once you do find the objections, then you can deal with them and close them. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next section, closing and dealing with the main objections. So price. I hear you. Price is always something that needs careful consideration. I just encourage you to factor in the cost savings / increased productivity that this investment will bring. I mean, that's the bottom line. If this investment improves productivity more than what it costs, then the price is justified. I mean, as long as we are competitively priced. Would you agree with that statement? If yes, you can then go to, then here's what we're going to do next, and just close them, write it up. I hear what you're saying about price. Let's take price out of the equation. Other than price, is there any other reason for you not move forward today? If they say no, write them up. If they say yes, okay, what is it? Deal with the next objection, okay? I understand. Okay, let me ask you this. If the product was within your budget, would you make the decision today? If yes, okay, great. So we are in full agreement. Let's get creative with getting funds to move forward. Your two options are, one, put it on your Visa or MasterCard and pay it off later, or take advantage of our no money down finance with 30 days interest free, and you can spread it out to get the repayments right down. In the meantime, you'll be able to take ownership of the product this afternoon. So which of those two options is preferable? You said the price is too high. I don't hear that often, but I have certainly heard it before. What are you comparing it to when you say it's too high? That's one where you challenge the prospect, and you need to explain why you think our price is too high. You can't just say it's too high, and then you'll find out if they are just kind of being insincere, or they don't have the money, and or you need to go back and demonstrate the value of your product more. So how to soften the price. Now, people will throw out price as an objection a lot, and a lot of the time it's just a stalling tactic, so you don't want to get bogged down with it. So what you want to do is just acknowledge what they've said and just keep moving, because you don't want to get bogged down, because it's not a real problem. And you need, if price is coming up, you need to establish the value of your offer. That's what you need to be doing. So you just don't want to get stuck on the price. You want to keep showing the value of what you are offering, and then you deal with the price. Okay, so this is how you soften the price, and then just keep moving forward. When they mention it, you just say, that price is just a price range. I'll explain how that works shortly. Continue on. They mention price, say, look, there are a few options with pricing. Let's first cover how the product works and how most people use it for great benefit, and then we'll deal with price later on. Continue on. At this early stage, there is quite a bit more that you get. So I think that you'll see the price differently once you actually see everything that is included in this deal. Mild slap. Sometimes you need to give the prospect a bit of a slap, a bit of a challenge. Look, and you could say when they bring up price, look, I'm not asking you to buy this right now. In fact, if I think it's not a good fit for you, I actually will not sell it to you. So let's just continue on, okay? By the end of it, you'll have a clear idea as to what you want to do next, whatever that may be, okay? That way you are sounding, look, firm and assertive, and you're not desperate for the sale. If they are so worried about price, you won't sell it to them, okay? And just continue on demonstrating the value, and then come back to it and try and close them. Let's put the whole price thing to the side for a moment. We still don't even know if this product is right fit for you yet. I'll give you a full rundown, and I'll answer all of your questions first. Right, another common objection is we had something similar and we were not happy with it, or we had the same product or service before and we weren't happy with it. So here's how you deal with that. Look, the way technology works is that it's constantly evolving via updates and improvements, and the current product has been improved and updated dozens of times since the time that you used a similar service. You know, it's like comparing the first iPhone with the current iPhone. There's no comparison. You know, let me point out a couple of ways that this product now is different to what you had before. And then you just want to talk about the most exciting and interesting features of your product that you know the product would be interested in. And then you can set them up for a close. All right, another common objection is I'll have to speak with. So they'll have to speak and refer to somebody. Like car salesman will hear, I got to speak to the wife or whatever. So how do you deal with that? As far as you know, what is the feeling that you have as to when they will be ready to take action? When do they have the decision scheduled in their timeline? Tell me more about the whole process. What do they need to do before making a decision? Would you say they are looking for a solution right now or just doing homework about possible solutions at this stage? Knowing them as you do, what will be the biggest question that they have? Did they give you this as a specific task, or is this all your idea and then you're going to bring it back to them? What is the first thing they will ask you about it? Or another objection is my friend does that for me. So they've got somebody who's a supplier and they consider a friend. And you just say here, loyalty is great and I don't want to get in the way of that or step on your toes. So all I'm going to do is just give you a quote and you can just compare it and just, make sure that you're still getting a good price and you can compare the services. Sound fair? Because you don't want to be pushy, but you want to just open up a bit of a question in their mind where they think, well, let's compare the prices and make sure my friend is still doing the right thing by me. And if your offer actually has more value, they will start to think about using you. Another common objection is, I need to do more research. And you could say, I get it. Just out of interest, what specific points do you need to research on? When you say research, do you mean visit other competitors that have similar products? If yes, say, and when you compare us and research, what part are you mostly comparing? All right, so that is how you do filthy closes. So in summary, you want to be asking open questions that are going to keep the conversation going and they're going to allow you to confirm the objection so you know what the objection is that you need to deal with it. And real objections indicate a real buyer. So if you have real objections, then you need to deal with the objections using those scripts and move on. And once you have identified the objections, you close on them and you've got a deal. That is filthy closes. I'll see you very soon on another training.